FC North. And now with that, we welcome in NFL analyst Rob Ninkovich to help break down these games. Max, I'm going to start with you here. Is this game a must-win for the Eagles?
No, a must-win for the Eagles? Let me just remind everyone, they have one win in 4 games. They're sitting alone in first place in the worst division of all time.
The worst.
By the way, Cowboys and Giants play, understand, even if the Cowboys win, they're a half game in front of the Eagles if the Eagles lose. And if the Giants win, the Eagles will still be alone in first place. No, this isn't
ridiculous.
Must-win. It's hilarious is what it is.
Well, for me, I think differently, only from this standpoint. I think that the Eagles have looked bad. And when we look at them, particularly when it comes to Carson Wentz, we've got so many questions about them right now. I don't think you can afford to go 1-3-1 because I think they're nosediving. I think that, usually when you see the awfulness of the division or what have you, even in the past when the Dallas Cowboys were struggling, predictably so, and the Eagles end up pulling themselves out of whatever abyss they were in, you saw so many different signs of things that, were working for them in a positive way. A play here or there didn't go right, or one individual was struggling. But what you see them now collectively with the slew of injuries, the inconsistent play of Carson Wentz, the fact that you've got players not necessarily believing in him the way that they once did. You don't have the security blanket that was Nick Foles in the past. I think the combination of all of those things make a game like this much, much more important, because I think that somehow, some way, particularly considering the pandemic, the fact that you don't have the crowd there to really inspire you, to really lift yourself up when you're struggling the way that they've been struggling, all of these kind of things that have been going on, particularly with Jalen Hurts not necessarily being ready, because when he's been utilized thus far this season in his young career, he hasn't been that effective. The combination of all those different things, I think, elevate the level of importance for them to win a game like this against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just my thinking.
Rob?
Yeah, look, yeah, definitely. The Eagles, it's a must-win game for them. And look, every game's a must-win game, especially, look, that the game is physical. We all know the game is physical, but it's more so mental and confidence for Wentz to go out there and play a good game and get back some of that confidence that I feel like he has lost. It's vital for that team. And we know the division's a joke. We know whoever wins that division is probably going to be one and done in the playoffs because it's ridiculous right now. So definitely is a must-win for the Eagles. They have to go out there and try to put together some type of game for 4 quarters.
Wait a minute. Rob, if they're all must-wins, then none of them are must-wins. By must-win, we obviously mean it has special significance. And we know if the Eagles make the playoffs, they're one and done anyway. So, anyone out of the NFC East ain't doing anything in the playoffs this year. So the question is, if it's a must-win, does losing the game mean they've really hurt their playoff chances? And the answer is no. They could have one win in their first 5 games. Think about this. They could still be sitting alone in first place. It's unbelievable how bad this division is.
It's unbelievable how bad it is, Max. I don't disagree with you. But what I'm saying is, as we look at the Philadelphia Eagles right now, think about Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
He's got 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and completing 60% of his passes. I mean, this is just bad. It's one thing when we looked at them and we said, okay, he's playing with a guy that used to be a quarterback in college, but now he's a wide receiver. This guy was on the practice squad. He got off the practice squad. Deshaun Jackson's out. Nelson Aguilar's out at the time. Alshon Jeffrey is out at the time. All right, et cetera, et cetera. Now you've got a situation where you still have a plethora of injuries that have ravaged you, combined with the quarterback simply not playing well and not exuding the level of confidence that he once exuded. And then you got teammates that are not believing in him. The kind of stories that we've been hearing, they're not on the same page. You yourself, Max, even highlighted how when you look at Doug Peterson, the thing about it is that Nick Foles was deemed as being coachable. Sort of as Carson Wentz was a maverick, would go his own way, would audible, would try to do his own thing, try to play hero ball, et cetera, et cetera. Those kind of things seem to have worn. And when you see something happening continuously year after year after year and regression taking place before our very eyes, it does get to a point where it ain't even about the division. It's not about the competition. It's not about whether or not you make the playoffs or not, because the people that you share the division with are all equally awful, if not worse. It really comes down to you and who you are as a franchise. And I'm saying the reason why this game is important, because I think we're seeing the Eagles go this way.
Yeah.
And I think they need something to lift them up to their level of their own respectability. And if you don't get that, you're just going to nosedive. That's all I mean by that.
Yeah, Rob, I do think that coach needs to do something with Wentz. Wentz is only good for about 4 or 5 quality throws in a game. So move him around, even if it exposes him to danger, and at least he can be kind of an average NFL quarterback because he is capable also of making perfect throws. Like he has like one of those a game, 3 or 4 more quality ones, and the rest bad decisions, bad executions. But at least when he's moving on, when he's throwing on the move, he's the best version of himself.
Yeah, look, I agree. He definitely has to be a guy that's on the move, out of the pocket, move the pocket plays. The thing that I talked about earlier about just confidence in general, as a football player, when you lose the confidence to throw the ball down the field, things start to move a little bit quicker. You're not confident that, hey, I don't know if I can get this ball in that window, and you're paying him like he is the guy that you're going to have out there. So I don't think that you can go any other direction than keep him in the game, keep him there. He's got to go through the bumps and the bruises, and hopefully he can go out there, regain some confidence, have the confidence of his teammates and his receivers, and go out there and produce. Because we've seen it in the past. We've seen him produce. We've seen him make throws. We've seen him move around in the pocket and scramble. But we've also seen him tear his ACL, have back problems, not be consistent, throw errant throws. So he has to get back to the confidence levels of where he was at when he was winning a lot of football games and running around and making plays with his legs. So I think he can do it. I really do. But it's going to, I mean, he doesn't have time. He's got to do it now. And that's why I say it's a must win.
On the other hand, that Bears quarterback sure came through when they needed him to, didn't they? They're looking pretty good right now. They kept the wrong guy.
I want to talk about the bumps and bruises because speaking of those, and we don't have to break down this game or talk about this in depth, but Adam Schefter is reporting that according to sources that there is a presumptive positive player test among the Jets. So now all players and coaches from their organization has been sent home. So now the Cardinals are like, what do we do? They're supposed to fly in for Sunday's game.